welcome to Tech in Asia's Sync Dinner Series. Today is the inaugural edition of our new dinner series to help connect thought leaders in the tech industry across Asia. For our opening session, we're super lucky and honored to have Bill Magnuson here, the CEO and co-founder of Braze. Hello, Bill.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. If you could share a little bit with us about Braze and why we're talking about humanity.
Yeah, so Braze is a customer engagement platform, and we work with consumer brands across the world. What we want to do is help them invest in the relationships that they have with people after they've acquired them. The reason we're talking about humanity is because if a brand can really listen and understand and then use that in order to have great conversations with their customers, that they can build great relationships. Yeah, so the Brand Humanity Index is work that we've done with Forrester Consulting, and what we've wanted to do was just provide a quantitative and organized basis for understanding what it takes for a brand to be human.
As you rolled out the Brand Humanity Index in regions across the world, what were some of the surprising differences and similarities that you found between regions?
From a similarity perspective, we tried to look at it across emotional factors, what kind of personality they have. Importantly, they want there to be relevance. And as we talk to thousands of people around the world, people want to be listened to, they want to be understood. And so those are the kinds of things that we find across the globe.
Great. So do you ever see the idea of humanizing your brand reaching a saturation point where like being a human brand is more or less table stakes?
At least what we're seeing right now is really the opposite. Customer expectations are actually increasing year over year. Is there a saturation? I would say probably not. In the hospitality industry, I think is a really good comparative point. That level of like, how do I anticipate their needs? You know, that's something that brands still strive to do. And so when you consider the challenge that a consumer brand has to be able to scale that across massive global markets, I think a brand should be salivating at the prospect that they would ever be able to saturate customer expectation.
Yeah, fair enough. Can you share some insights from other industries where you're seeing brands also working to become more human?
Yeah, I think that, it's been interesting for us to look at the pace of innovation across different industries, places that are heavily regulated like banking, finance, or areas that are a little bit more capital intensive. But we're seeing the pace of innovation there to be a little bit slower actually than in some of the more mobile driven places, things like on-demand food delivery, dating applications, gaming, et cetera. These are places where the pace of innovation and competition is a lot higher. Brands are really differentiating themselves in how personalized they can be. It's in those places that are more competitive.
And then in the case of competition between duopolies specifically, how do you think brand humanity can help make a difference between the two?
What we see in the results is that brands that are more human are actually driving more loyalty. It's driving customers to purchase more and to recommend more. And so all of those things are really, really important when you're in a highly competitive space, especially in a duopoly or in a place where, if I'm gonna use one or another service on my phone, it's literally just moving my thumb a little bit more. To make sure that, you're able to kind of withstand the bumps in the road, to be able to kind of be human, have people empathize with you as a brand and really want to invest in the relationship that you have as a brand. I think that in especially those competitive industries, it's even more important.
Fair enough. So, it sounds like every business leader ever should be thinking about how they need to be humanizing their brands and what next steps they can take in this direction. What advice or guidance would you give for people who are starting to think along those lines?
I think it always goes back to this idea that actually the concepts are relatively simple and they're very intuitive, but the implementation of them is incredibly hard. It's really about continuing to strive for that sophistication, even though the problem is very complex. That's going to set you up for success. And then the strategies that you want to employ are just ones that allow you to invest in human relationships. That implementation and execution is very important.
That's incredible, Bill. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing more with us about Braze and the Brand Humanity Index.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me.